The world is waiting for the sunrise.
Hey guys, so today what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be making a butter-based wine sauce that really goes well with chicken and really light meats, but it can also go well with heavier meats if you want to take it that direction. But today I'm really gonna be going over the basics of things that would go with chicken, lamb, so whitefish, cod, just really low carb, light meat that is really good for burning calories, is really good for protein, but what's not good is in taste. So how you're going to take it that next step is by using this. So what we're going to use is some minced garlic, some soy sauce. It doesn't have to be like this type of soy sauce, but I suggest it. It's one of my favorite. White wine. It's optional. You can use water, but I'd suggest white wine. Some lemon juice, heavy creamer, some parsley. Doesn't matter where you get it. You could grow it. You could get it from a store. It doesn't mean you need that much at all. And just half a stick of butter, a fourth a stick of butter. Not that much butter at all. Even though it's butter based, turns out don't really need a lot of butter. So instead of showing you all the ingredients now, I'm going to show you what your first step is before you go to the burner back there and you begin to make your butter wine sauce. Hold up. So we're gonna get out a couple leaves of parsley. Now I'm making not a big one. It's like a batch this big because I already made some this week, but I just wanted to make some more. So that shit easy. Now when you get parsley, you're gonna get it like this, and you know you don't want like that. You want the parsley on the stem because it's live, but you don't want that stem. That stem is not gonna bring anything to the table besides like trash this. So get that shit out of there, and then just start cutting off those leaves. You feel me? Just cutting the leaves up. Make sure it's like, you can have a little stem between the leaves, but just like as much as you can get, close as you can get to the edge of that leaf. So here we go. We got an overview of the camera. So what we're gonna start off with is we're gonna cut like 1 to 2 tablespoons of like unsalted butter. I suggest unsalted. You could use salted if you really wanted to, but not much at all. Just enough to coat the bottom. So I'm gonna be adding some extra. Okay, so you wanna use that much, maybe a little disc, just enough to fill the bottom, right? Because this is gonna get way thicker later. So we're gonna turn that on. We're gonna get that hot enough so it starts melting that butter. There we go. So as this butter melts, we're gonna spread that around, make sure it coats the entire bottom. What you can do if you really want to is add some peanut oil or like some anything really like an olive oil base, anything to make it a little healthier, less butter. But you know what? It's going as a topping. I'm gonna use some butter. And I've used this, as I said, on fish, on chicken, on beef. It's pretty much really overall kind of solution. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off because you don't need to watch this. It's not really important. So what we've done now is I added a little butter and I just put it on time lapse for a second because I didn't want you to have to watch that. But I let it brown a little, and browning butter is when you just let it sit for a second. You don't want to get it absolutely sizzling, because if you let it sizzle, it's going to burn, and that's not going to be really good because you don't want all that burnt stuff in your sauce. So just let it sizzle a little, you know, move it around occasionally, get it spreading the bottom of that pan. So we got a really thin layer here, and it's not big at all. It's pretty hot, so I probably shouldn't be touching on it like that. But you know what? As long as you're careful, you're fine. So your next step is gonna be to start adding those. Oh my goodness, I can't walk away from you. I'm just trying to find a utensil for this. I'm sorry if it's hard of hearing right about now. So anyways, I'm putting a fork so I can add some minced garlic up in this bitch, and like literally any minced garlic is fine. And you're adding a lot. Now that's gonna be like aroma-y and loud, and look at that, ain't that beautiful? We have all that sizzle really like adding up. And as it's adding up right there, you know, it's like sizzling. It's roasting the garlic, so all that garlic flavor, and you can see the particles of the butter getting locked on. So all that garlic flavor is just being locked right back on. But garlic is gonna fry super fast, so we're gonna slow it down here. We're gonna add some soy sauce. Soy sauce is also really easy to burn. It's really easy to mess up. So again, we're adding soy sauce because now we got more liquid. We didn't add as much butter. I did add a little more than I originally planned. Maybe in ill taste, but it's just what I needed at that point. So we're adding, this is really just by thought, as much as you want, you know, it's a preference. I like soy sauce, so I'm probably gonna add around 3 like little glugs right there. That's gonna put a lot of overpowering into that garlic. And there we go. We're gonna let that sizzle again for a second. And you know what, I'm gonna be a bit of a nanny here and put on a little more garlic. I don't know why I can't get the guessings right on my first try, but I can't. So then we're gonna take some lemon juice. I'm gonna do 2 squirts. Now, lemon juice comes into this a lot because it's a butter-based flavor, but it's really good with lemon. So to make this ultimate, we're gonna add our parsley. Let that mix. Get it all covered over in the parsley. Spread it around, and then we're gonna sit here and that parsley, as it's being cooked, and we're gonna push up the heat a little because I got it on low heat. As that parsley is being bubbled around in there, heated up in there, those juices are gonna really flow. They're gonna open up, and it's gonna just make the sauce way better. We are back and we're just finishing this up. So I spent like a minute, 2 minutes. I've been stirring actively so it doesn't start sticking to the pan, and it's gonna again burn, make that crustiness. It's gonna be really bad for it. But what's happened here is you can see those leaves. If I like zoom in on them, I really can't do that well, but I'm gonna go ahead and pick you up for a second. As you can see, those leaves in there are popping, getting browned, and they're really breaking apart. And they're creating a lot of good flavor inside of our little sauce there. So we are back, and I'm just smelling this a little, and it's smelling almost. See, it's clumping up. See, I left it there a little too long, but that's fine because it's not long enough where it's browned. I'm turning back on the stove as I left it off there for a second. But there we go, low heat. All that stuff's there. So here comes the big part. This is probably the biggest part of this sauce, and you've got to do this. It doesn't have to be white wine like I'm using, Chardonnay. It can be used any water, but alcohol like Chardonnay and white wine just creates it a better flavor and also gives it just a lot better caramelization in the bottom. So as I add that in there, you can hear that sizzle up. But see how big that gets? See how much there is now? And you know what? I gotta mix it around a little. You know, constantly drag it through the middle. You wanna leave your greens in there. Drag it through the middle, drag it through the sides. Swish it a little, get everything mixed up. And that's gonna start sizzling right away. With even low heat, this is gonna start adding a lot of different flavors to it. So add a little more soy sauce. Add a little more lemon. Take that off there for a second, mix it up a little. Swirl it. And then just leave it there for a second. Let it cook. Now again, keep a close eye on this so we can keep it from burning. But other than that, there's really nothing we can do else. And this is pretty much the final step of our situation here, of our sauce. So we've let this sit there for a while. All the alcohol is burnt off. A lot of the wine is burnt off. And so what we're left here is a big wine overtaste and a really acidic base. If you leave it like this, it's going to turn out bad. You have to add something to balance out that wine. So what I've always done, and it's a great term too, heavy whipping cream. Won't ruin the sauce, will only make it better. Put it right in the middle there. and then just whisk her through. And you're gonna get this light brown taste. I got a little oil pop on me there. You're gonna get this light brown, almost bad looking. But this is what you want. You want this beautiful, lightest brown color. And I've already made some of this week, again. And this lightest brown color is going to be beautiful. Now, what I suggest doing this is maybe adding some fat trimmings, or that's why we used extra butter in the end. But if you've cooked something, what's a really good way to clean the pan is to do this. You're going to want to deglaze it. You're going to want to add all your things that you want like this. And you can see those bubbles popping up. That's going to be start frying real quick. And just drag that through. And then it's looking a little light, so we're going to add some heavy creamer. Add some soy sauce. This is just at the eye right here. That's going to be kind of light brown. You can see those greens are still in there. And they are still releasing flavor. They still have flavor to the touch. That's more brown. They still have flavor to the touch. They still have flavor to the taste. It just adds beauty. And this can be drizzled over pretty much anything again. Poultry, lamb, anything you can think of. And it'll immediately make it better. It's definitely got a refined taste. It's really good. If you don't want as much acidity, like the wine under tasting, it makes it almost better. I think a lot of parents will enjoy the wine tasting more, but kids, I'd suggest using water to, instead of white wine in our thing to deglaze it. So, what we're doing here is we're just mixing it up while it's getting fried a little. We're just going to leave that there to fry for a second. So what this is going to do is going to kill off a little bit of it, but it's also going to thicken it up. And while we do that, we're going to put away our things. And that's, so the burner is off, but our sauce is still a bit hot. But as you can see, this is my earlier sauce from the beginning of the week that I used to drizzle over things that I eat now. You can see they're a bit different in color. This one's a little lighter. I think it's because I went easier on the soy sauce in this one and easier on other things like seasonings. But this one's a little darker, mostly because it's had a lot of soy sauce, a lot of seasoning in it. But this one is definitely going to be really good on a lot of like lighter foods, like I said, lamb, cod, white fish, white meat. It's just overall pretty good. And you can see as I mix that up, it's going to get a little darker because that soy sauce is trying to sit at the bottom of the pan. But anyways, they're nearly identical taste. I can take a quick taste test. Yeah, so the old one I just tasted, really good. Really love it. This one's really good too. They're both really good. Maybe this one could use a little more soy sauce. But again, I love soy sauce so much that I really recommend a lot of things. So I don't know what I'm going to call this. Probably like a Marsala wine-based sauce. But it's just something I like to do to add to things like salmon and other things. It's really good, butter-based. You know how that always makes it good. It's easy to make. It's really good if you want to make something. Just go the extra mile. And it's a pretty easy cleanup. So that is it for this recipe. Bye.